Hey nerds. So I'm going to continue my series on Slavoj Zizek's book called Less Than Nothing. But before I get started, of course, please like the video, share it, subscribe to the channel, especially that helps a lot. And please also, if you're ordering anything at all on Amazon, if you order anything through my link, then I get a little kickback at no extra cost to you. So I really appreciate that. And also, if you want to give me a tip on Patreon, any amount of money per post, like $1, $5 per post instead of once a month, that's awesome too. And also subscribe to my Rumble page rather. All those links are in the description. All right, so of course, Slavoj Zizek is my favorite and the only one I know of who is a Lacanian slash Hegelian slash Marxist philosopher. And of course, since he's a Hegelian, he's a big fan of Hegel. And in Less Than Nothing, he's writing a lot about Hegel's different views on various concepts, along with other philosophers' criticisms of them and his opinions of their criticisms. So there's a lot of relevant stuff to get into here that will explain the point that he's getting at here. Okay, so of course, Hegel, as most people know, 18th century idealist who focused on ontology and metaphysics, and of course, Phenomenology of Spirit is one of the most seminal books in continental philosophy. And Fichte was the 18th century somewhat founder of idealism, and he had a lot of so Hegel was heavily influenced by Fichte, but Fichte also had some heavy criticisms of Hegel in terms of specifically his dialectic. So and so the idealism that Fichte founded is obviously became a major branch of continental philosophy and remains that way to this day. So Hegel's dialectic, and people misunderstand this a lot. Hegel's dialectic is the way in which objects and beings interact with each other and change according to their telos or purpose. It's not thesis and antithesis, synthesis of ideas. It's nothing like that. People say that, but it's a straw man of the dialectic that they use all the time. It's completely different, right? So Fichte criticizes what he sees as contradictions in Hegel's dialectic. Zizek highlights them and likes the contradictions because he thinks that they lead to further transformation of the dialectic, which is good. In Hegel's dialectic, Hegel talks about what he calls semantic choices in terms of the dialectic. So, in terms of the dialectic, objects make semantic choices based on their telos. Objects have identities and relationships with each other. These identities and relationships are what he calls semantic choices. In the dialectic, objects make semantic choices based on their telos or purpose. See? These identities and relationships impact how the objects react, which can change their telos in the dialectic and lead to contradictions. So at least this is according to Fichte. That's Fichte's view. So Zizek uses the term infrarational, which is important to understand because it doesn't actually mean rational at all. Infrarational actually means incapable of rational or logical thought or reasoning. So to Zizek, objects in the dialectic make infrarational semantic choices that impact their telos and can lead to contradictions. The process through which objects and concepts interact, change, and make infrarational semantic choices that affect their telos is what Hegel calls sublation. Remember, these philosophical terms have very specific meanings in philosophy. Hegel thought sublation resolves contradictions in his dialectic. Fichte thought that sublation in the dialectic caused contradictions. Zizek agreed with Fichte that sublation in the dialectic causes contradictions, but Zizek sees that this as good because contradictions lead to the transformation of the dialectic, he says. Zizek loves the apparent facts that harmonies will always be spoiled, things will always go wrong, and things will always destroy themselves. Each position will generate an excess, which will augur its self-destruction. So, to oversimplify, sublation is the process of objects and concepts making rational choices. No, not rational. Process of objects and concepts making infrarational choices that affect their telos and lead to contradictions. Zizek agrees that Fichte is right about his criticism of Hegel's dialectic, but Hegel's dialectic is still good, even though Zizek argues that it's even worse according to Fichte's standards and logic. You're right, but it's actually even worse than you say, and I think it's even better because of that, bitch. Not only, of course, uh, Zizek likes to be a shit disturber, right? Not only does sublimation in the dialectic lead to contradictions, it leads to self-destruction. So, in a nutshell, Zizek is arguing that Fichte's criticism of Hegel's dialectic is correct, but that makes Zizek like it even more, and he takes the criticism even further. Infrarational semantic choices through sublimation of objects and concepts in the dialectic leads to contradictions and self-destruction, but self-destruction leads to transformation. Objects and concepts change their purposes based on their choices, affected by their identities along with their interactions with other objects and concepts. Objects and concepts change, which lead to contradictions and then self destruction. However, self destruction is good because it leads to transformation in the dialectic or transformation of the dialectic. Objects change, contradict themselves, and then destroy themselves, all to transform the dialectic, which Slavoj Zizek would say is a beautiful process, and so on. Blah, blah, blah. All right. Again, everyone, please order anything at all on Amazon through my link, and I get a little kickback and no extra cost to you. If you want to contribute any amount of money on Patreon, $1, $5, $10, $100 a month on Patreon, that's greatly appreciated. Or give me a tip for each individual post. That's greatly appreciated as well. And like, subscribe, and share this video. Particularly subscribe to the channel. That helps a lot. And subscribe to my Rumble page. And thanks, everyone. And adios until next time, nerds.